scruffy. Strange, you think you could use your webcam as like a mirror, but it's all actually in reverse. I wish I could get this actual window to be smaller. It should be resizable. This doesn't appear to be. Is it recording? Yeah, it is recording. No, I don't want to see the controls. Oh, I suppose we should put follow my face. Oh yeah, okay. Right. Yeah. What about if I close the controls now? Yeah, alright. Oh, yeah, good. Okay. Oh dear. Anyway, it's Saturday. I don't know what the date is. Oh, it's the 28th of the 9th. That's September the 9th, isn't it? I think so. I didn't go to bed till about 4 o'clock in the morning. And I woke up at 1:30. Lisa got me my tea and toast. And then I put Sue Perkins in Japan, which Lisa quite liked, but I didn't think it was all that good. I don't know. I suppose it's because I'm not that keen on Sue Perkins. I don't know why it is. I don't think it's because she's a lesbian, and I don't care about that. I mean, I don't really know. I find it very difficult with all this gender business and LGBT and not. You have a baby now and you don't tell the relatives whether it's a boy or girl, or you let the child decide what they want to be. I find that all a bit weird. I mean, I'm not as young as I used to be, and I just can't. I can't figure. I just can't figure that out. I don't know. I don't know. And I don't think you should be teaching children, very young children, about all these different options which they may or may not have later on in life, whether they're gay or whether they're lesbians, whether they're transvestites or God knows what else. I think it's something which we all decide on for ourselves later in life, when we're old enough to make rational decisions. I don't know. We're all different, I guess. I mean, I'm a liberal at heart, but I don't know. When Cameron gave the gay rights and the marriage between homosexuals and all that business, a lot of the Conservatives were against it, but anyway, he thought it was the right thing to do. Only time would tell, I suppose. Anyway, I've got to take my tablets. Anyway, good morning to you all. Hope you're all well. Oh, look at that, it's zooming in on me. I wonder how it does that. So here's my morning tablet. This piece of paper here, that's on this, oh, you can't see. It goes from here to there. So that's evening. So I'll take oh dear. Another bride. Another June. Another sunny honeymoon. It's the season. That is the reason for making. You see these capsules I'm taking here now? Couture Dart. I had to renew the prescription, and the full price of these is €98. That's not €98. That's about £85. I get some reduction, and I paid €60, which is about £50 or £55. And this dewdrop is a prescription for my enlarged prostate. Now, if I didn't take this treatment, if I didn't have these capsules, and didn't use this medication, I'd probably end up with cancer of the prostate, and it would cost the National Health in Finland tens or even hundreds of thousands of euros. So why do they make me pay all that money out of my little pension for these tablets? It doesn't make any sense. Some tablets, for example, there's one here. This is Creon. This is an enzyme, which this would normally be very, very expensive, but I get it subsidised and I only pay €4 for it. In Finland, once you've spent €600 in any 1 year, then your medicine is free. Also, if you're so poor that you can't afford your prescriptions, then you can apply for Social Security. But to get Social Security, they take into account your wife's income as well. So I wouldn't actually qualify for any subsidy on my medication. So I find that it's a bit weird. And I also found out that different localities have different rules on what medications are subsidised and which aren't. We're trying to sell this house and move to a bigger town in the south, which has a university hospital, and there the regulations could be entirely different, which I find very odd. It's a bit like in the UK. You go to Wales, prescriptions are free. You go to university in Scotland, it's free, but not in England. Health service is very good in Finland. Lisa asked me if I wanted a coffee today. I like coffee, but yesterday I hadn't been to the toilet for a couple of days, and I drank 2 cups of coffee. And when I did go, it was kind of a bit like the eruption of Vesuvius when Pompeii was destroyed. I'm not saying that my eruption destroyed anything, but it was. It started off with quite a nice motion, which was followed by a secondary motion, followed by then a lot of gas and wind and liquid. So today I'm not drinking any coffee because coffee is an irritant, actually, a laxative, and I don't think I need to go to the toilet. Probably I won't go at all today. I'm talking about the number 2s, not number 1s. When you get old, you become obsessed with the body, not body image, not body, things which most people take for granted, like going to the bathroom. But when you've had the kind of health that I've had, with my bowels from the age of 15, I had this surgery for Crohn's disease when I was 15. I was in hospital for 6 months. And that was 1954, 55. Then after I bought my first house, just before my father died in a terrible car crash, for some reason, from about the mid-60s, I've had a problem with my stomach for quite a long time. when I say my stomach, I mean, yeah, you can get stomach ache as well as having looseness in the low regions. Um, yeah, which can be unpredictable. And I used to get bouts of depression. I don't know why I got bouts of depression. It could be because I had not only known my first wife, but I had quite a relationship, not so much physical, but mentally, with somebody I met in the convalescent home who had got married. We were both roughly the same age. She'd got married and being very badly treated by her husband who drank. And I was married then with two young children. And for some reason, I wasn't that happy. I can't quite understand why. Maybe it's because I got married at 18. Maybe 18 is too young to get married. Met my first wife at 17. I got married at 18. And by the time I was 19, we had two children. Maybe it was too much. I never had a youth. Never went to parties. Never really had a lot of friends. I went to one party. It's an all-night party. I think it's probably the most boring thing I've ever done in my life, actually. But I had gone to a dancing school in Catford, which is southeast London, and met some people there. And there was a Peter who was very tall, a bit like Peter. Can't remember his name now. Pete and Dad. Oh God, sorry, I just can't remember their name. Dudley Moore and Peter Cook. So this Peter was a little bit like Peter Cook. He was tall and I don't know, a bit odd. I think quiet man, very quiet. And Brian was he had a girlfriend called Kathy, and we went to this all-night party. I think there was only I don't remember many people being there. Well, I know the room was dark, music playing quietly in the background, lights very, very dim, and we all took a bottle of something to drink. It's the first time I've ever had an experience of an all-night party. And as I say, it was very dimly lit. I saw Brian and Kathy on one big armchair, kissing and cuddling, which I didn't really stare at. That kind of thing, I don't know, I don't want to look at people doing that for some reason. But no interest at all. And to my right, slightly towards my right, was Peter, who had this very long, drab raincoat. And he had always had a female person on his lap. And I didn't know what was going on, but there was something going on underneath the raincoat, which I'll leave to your imagination. I couldn't see anything and I didn't want to know. I thought it was all a bit weird. And I sat on my own, and I had underneath my chair a bottle of sherry, large bottle, full bottle of sherry. And I didn't have any friend there or girlfriend, and that was my only experience of an all-night party. Some years later, in my second marriage in the University town of Canterbury, we got to know some students who invited us to a party in a cottage somewhere out in the wilds in some country place. And I've never smoked drugs. I've never been a big drinker. And we went to the students' party where, once again, it was in a cottage in the middle of nowhere. I got a feeling that these students were squatters. I'm not sure if they were or not, but it was a bit disorganised. And somebody, it was dark and dim, murky, and they had a fireplace there, and they were burning roots of apple trees. Roots of apple trees. And there was this pungent smell, and we could we didn't know much about smoking cannabis or pot or weed or whatever you like to call it, but eventually we realised that they were actually using drugs, and we thought, we know it was again at the time. This is going about 1980, about 1980s, 80, 81. And we knew it was illegal. If there was going to be a raid, we didn't want to be involved. So we made excuses and politely left. So there, my only two experiences of being in a place at night. That's the only time. As a boy, after I came out of hospital, I converted to Christianity and tried to convert everybody I met to Christianity, which was quite stressful because most people thought I was a nutter. So I just drink some water. It's very odd that people that have a different opinion to ourselves, and if you try and push your opinions on other people, they're not interested. I think really you have to teach the idea of Christianity not through words but by actions, by how you treat people and how you live. I think that is probably the best way that I can describe any religion. It's to be kind to people, to love people, and to learn to get along with people and not force your opinions on others, and listen to other people and respect their ideas and religion. But of course, I'm 80 now, and I suppose it takes a lifetime before you get any degree of wisdom. Anyway, I'm. What was I saying about? I lost my thread now. Oh yeah. I started work at 15. I started working in Fleet Street at the Sunday Mirror, but I wasn't there for only a few months before I became ill, and they kept my job open for 3 months, but then they had to let the job go, and I couldn't get back there. So after the hospital, I was in hospital for 6 months. Then I was in an advertising agency just off of Parliament Square in the centre of London, just near the Houses of Parliament. And I was there a couple of years. Then I got a better job, and as assistant production manager for another advertising agency. But I was talking about when I was 15. When I was 15, my only kind of recreation then was to go down. We lived in Brockley, southeast London. I would sometimes go down the road, down Breakspears Road, in Brockley, and there was a cafe there which had a jukebox, and which we used to play. It seemed to be that we played a lot of American records. A lot of American records. I remember being in a cafe in the Edgware Road near Marble Arch where there was a sex shop and somebody rather. I was curious and went in there, and I said a couple, and it came out. It was so embarrassing. But next to it was a little cafe, and they had a jukebox, and I went in there, had a cup of coffee, I believe, and they were playing. I remember clearly that they were playing Fats Domino at Blueberry Hill. I lost my heart on Blueberry Hill. He's a darky, big fat man. I think his name was Fats Waller. So, but anyway, in Brockley, down the Breakspears Road, in the little like a village area, there was a cafe, and I'd go there and have maybe drink Coke. Don't think I drank coffee, just the Coca-Cola, and I don't think I ever talked to anyone, but was just there, listening to records. So I can't say that I was. Was I lonely? I really don't know. I've always been a bit of a loner, but when I lived in Bristol, even then I had friends because I went to the Cubs, not the Brownies. Brownies is for girls. Oh, so I knew I was a boy. I went to Cubs, and also I was in the choir there for 4 years, in the church choir. And I knew people, and I had acquaintances, and I had one very close friend called Norman Thorne. But I used to spend an awful lot of time doing the things that I wanted to do, such as yes, such as. So I'm just adjusting this picture. Um, Such as going fishing, for example, bird nesting out in the countryside. Uh, I lived in Bristol, which is a city, but you can very quickly get into the countryside. And I used to, other boys didn't seem to share my interest, but I was very interested in wildlife, in nature, and I spent a lot of time on my own through choice, not through the necessity. So maybe that's my personality, because I've also worked abroad in the Middle East and spent many weeks on my own without speaking to a soul. I travelled a lot in Europe and Asia, and often been away for a month or 2 months and hardly spoken to a single soul. It didn't seem to bother me too much. But when I did come home, I would at times be quite talkative. But I've never been a very good listener for some reason, which is a fault. It's a big defect in my personality that I'm not all that interested in what other people have got to say, unless it's really to the point. But I hate these long, rambling discussions about things. I don't mind if it's, oh, I mean, I just, when I ask somebody a question, um, um, how long will the dinner be? I like an answer which says, about 10 minutes, darling. Or, oh, if it's sometime, you better have a snack now. It's very straightforward. But a lot of people don't answer in that way. They say, oh, well, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But I'm fairly direct as a person myself. And also in Finland, that's how we are. If you want a cup of coffee in Finland, in England, if you visited somebody, you might say, "Oh, any chance of a cup of tea?" Uh, and 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 they say, oh, "Yeah, I can make, I can get the kettle on." Well, don't do it if it's too much trouble. You know, I'm not desperate, but no, no. You want a cup of tea? You can have a cup of tea. Are you sure? Are you sure it's not too much trouble? But in Finland here, when I asked some friends that I got to know, because I was a teacher, and some of the students I got to know outside of the school and was invited to their homes. I once asked uh, a girl called Tarja, how do you ask for a cup of coffee in a polite way here in Finland? She said, you just say, I want coffee. I think in Finnish it's men haluan kahvi. My Finnish isn't very good, but that's about it. It's very straightforward. I want coffee. But I think a lot of it depends what part of Finland you're from. It might be possible to say, can I have? Which the word for can I have is sanko. Sanko kahvia. That means, can I have coffee? Min haluan is I want. Do you have? Onko teillä? Do you have? Onko teillä? And if you want it straight away, you say, onko teillä nyt? Nyt is now. I want coffee now. I demand it. Give me coffee. Oh, dear. I've read a lot about Adolf. I'm always a believer that you can't fully understand something unless you're prepared to really look into someone's background. And I found it fascinating. You can get Mein Kampf on the internet. I didn't read much of it, but I read about his early childhood, his relationship with his father and his mother, and it was extremely interesting. I learnt about what he really wanted to do. He was a very artistic person. He really wanted to be an architect, but he'd taken the wrong course at school, and he had applied to the School of Art, and he was rejected twice. That quite upset him. When his father died, his father wanted him to go into a secure job, to be a civil servant. When his father died, he wasn't very close to his father, but he was very, very close to his mother. And not long after his father died, his mother died of cancer. And the doctor who came to attend Adolf's mother, with Adolf there, had actually said that I've never seen anyone so distraught as a young person like Adolf, who wept uncontrollably and couldn't leave. He was so attached to his mother, and losing his parents, he was basically all on his own in the world then. But you can read that for yourself. Of course, he turned into a bit of a psychopath and a very dangerous man, and had terrible right-wing ideas. And he was a fascist, and he plunged the whole world into war. But you need to know the background of his life, and also the sanctions that were imposed on Germany after the First World War, which more or less caused the start of World War II. But anyway, look, I've been talking now for 26 minutes. I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to maybe play one game. I'm watching Gavin and Stacey at the moment, but I've got, yeah, okay. Thanks, Lily. Bye.